So, just adding this to the start of the video I've just made, there are a lot of very interesting points about Volkswagen in this video in its comparison to Nio. So, Volkswagen invests 2.3 billion in China EVs, takes stake in Nio's manufacturing partner. So, Jack Motors, who builds the cars for Nio, um, Volkswagen, just bought a 50% stake, so they paid 2.3 billion and they bought the stake. So, Nio pays them to build the cars for them. And they also had a second transaction, 1.1 billion euros, exchanged 26% of electric vehicle battery maker Jishin High-Tech Co., becoming its largest shareholder. So Vw is no slouch in recognizing that EV is going to be the way. I think EV is going to be the way. With some reason I'm thinking about battery swapping, and I'll go and lay the video screen that the advantage of Nio is its battery swapping, and probably a boost from the Chinese government. As I'll say it again in this video, but cars over $40,000 or a certain price in China don't get a grant, but if they get battery swapping, if they have battery swapping, it doesn't matter of the price, they still get a grant, which is basically a big push for the government to Nio. So stay tuned for more great facts between these two companies. You'll probably learn something very interesting. Yeah, here's the next part. So market cap, Nio 97 billion and Volkswagen 81 billion euros. So if we convert that to USD, that becomes 97. So they're both worth 97 billion or thereabouts USD at today's price. Ooh, nice surge from Volkswagen. Nice little dividend if you bought yesterday. And keep in mind, Volkswagen profitable. They made 10 billion in 2019. 2020 was a bit of a dip. Then they were profitable towards the end. I'm not going to point out exact figures. So that's another thing. Volkswagen profitable. Nio yet to be profitable. Although Volkswagen is not yet profitable with the EV sector, they look to be in 2022, and I think that's the same thing for Nio. So we'll close down these ones. So group EV sales. So this is Volkswagen, who owns Audi, Skoda, Volkswagen, and they own the high ones, don't they? So Volkswagen, 231,000 EVs sold 2020, and Nio, only 36, and they're the same market cap. But remember, Nio has battery swapping, and Volkswagen yet does not. So that's one tick for Nio, battery swapping. But Volkswagen also makes their own cars where Nio does not yet. So what about self-driving? Well, they both use Mobileye, an Intel company. So for this video you can look at this Mobileye's autonomous car driving around the streets of Israel, Jerusalem, where Jesus was born or raised. So anyway, this is actually a geomapped area. So this car has driven around these streets a lot of times, so all those little 1%ers in a driving have been probably thought out well in that area. So they both use those. Now for batteries, Volkswagen use CATL, and Nio does as well. But Nio seems to be promising this 2022 150 kilowatt solid state battery. So it's not going to be full solid state. So they're adopting solid state. So I think some of the batteries will stay as normal, and then maybe they add in a section of solid state batteries. I don't know yet. There's not much news about this, and which company is with. You can look at it yourself. But obviously, if someone's going to come out with a solid state battery, Nio doesn't own this solid state technology. They're buying off someone else. So Volkswagen could also purchase that off someone else. So they're pretty. The only thing I see that favors Nio is the Chinese government backs them up. So in China, cars over 40,000 don't apply for this grant of $4,000, but if they have battery swapping, they do. So that's the government of China giving a big push to their child who they're invested in, Nio. Nio has sleek design and battery swapping. Did I say battery swapping? That ET7, so they're both using Mobileye, both using pretty much the same battery supplier. Nio doesn't make their own cars, Volkswagen does. Volkswagen has a mass market car, or more so than Nio. Volkswagen is profitable, not yet in the EVs, but they look towards doing it. Volkswagen will have to shut down all their diesel petrol car manufacturing, so that's a minus for Volkswagen. Yep, and we'll point this out again that Nio sold 36,000 EVs, not profitable, and Volkswagen 231,000 EVs. So this is pointing out Mobileye, self-driving vehicles in Israel. So this other one, Champion Motors. Champion Motors were responsible for the fleet logistics infrastructure and mobility as a service deployment, meaning just a robo-taxi network. So logistics means how many cars they need, I guess. Infrastructure, they're gonna have to charge up the cars. What if they could just pull in and swap the battery? So battery swapping, that's the big thing for Nio, I feel. Battery swapping. But hopefully, if the solid state comes out, they charge in 10 minutes anyway, so it's probably not going to affect these cars. And maybe the car isn't getting used, you can pull into a charging thing, charge up, and then when it gets a call, it can come in. So I think that's it for this video. Plenty of videos of this guy. He thinks full self driving will come out in 2022. I've heard him say it a few times. And yeah, Mobileye actually has a lot more driving miles than Tesla. If you look that up. Here we are. Mobileye is forging driverless mobility as a service as a near-term revenue generating channel. Owned by Intel, so Mobileye is owned by Intel. They bought them for 15 billion, and hopefully they can turn Intel around. Intel stock price, it's back and climbing. Intel's coming back. So I'll leave that for this video. So just have a think about this before you put the house on Nio. I see the only moat for Nio is a Chinese government backing, a big Chinese population, and battery swapping. So if you think there's any other moats for Nio, pros and cons, please comment below pros and cons for each, because I'm learning just like you are. I won't be investing in either. I feel the markets are high now. I'll be putting all my money into cash, unless I see something very good, probably with a lower market cap than Nio, maybe the Canoe EV, but I don't think they're going to manufacture, so who knows what might help. Ooh, Apple allegedly held talks with EV startup Canoe about developing its own car. I bet this Canoe price is going to skyrocket. That makes a bit of sense as well. Oh, up 13%. That Apple talk is coming through. Rivian, I love the Rivian cars. Look up Rivian Tank Turn. I think that's the greatest. Rivian are really good, and they have the motors in the wheels, which I think are the best place for the motors, because it removes the spinning components, and spinning components equal maintenance. So that's all for this video. Please like and subscribe. Request any companies you want compared or looked at. Amen. See you later, brothers and sisters.